Hi everyone, this is Ray, or some of you might know me as Tiki with Ray. And today I'm at the Alibi in Portland, Oregon, and I have a special guest on my show today, Jason T. Smith.
Hello.
And who's your guest with you, Jason?
It's my lovely wife, Staci.
Now,
Aloha.
Jason T. Smith is the master of thrifting.
I'll take that.
To the point of where you literally make a living
Yep.
doing it.
I make a living doing it between actual thrifting and selling, and then teaching others how to do it too.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, you do like seminars and stuff like that.
I do seminars, I do webinars, I teach around the country.
Yeah.
I do monthly webinars for a Facebook group I have, and so I teach them everything from how to sell big bras to this month I'm teaching them how to sell records.
It's incredible. So anyway, there's a podcast, Inside the Desert Oasis, from Adrian.
Adrian.
How's it going, Adrian? Adrian had you on as a guest, and I loved your episode.
Oh, thank you.
It was a pretty long one too, and
Yeah.
you talked about everything. You talked about pretty much your entire life and your entire history. I'm like, this guy's interesting, and because a lot of the guests are sometimes is maybe just his friends hanging out and talking. And I'm like, I'm really glued into like what this guy's saying. So I'm like, well, okay, what's this guy look like, you know? So I Google your name, and at first blush, I'm like, why are pictures of me coming up?
You are my mini-me.
I'm your mini-me.
Yeah, you are.
Yes.
And so, like,
I normally have glasses, but I'm actually trying contacts out in the wild for the first time today, so.
my eyes dry up with the contacts, but it's like,
It's going so well.
but
It's going well so
you're
far.
like wearing like the same
Same shirt?
Same
My beard isn't
type?
nearly as big
Yeah.
as yours.
Yours is nice and trimmed.
So I send you a message on Facebook. I'm like, dude, I just want to say I listened to your podcast. I loved it. I thought it was great. And I hope to meet you sometime. But by the way, I think we're like brothers, like lost at birth. And I actually made these pictures of us together with like wearing the same shirts and stuff.
I know.
They're awesome. I've seen it.
It's crazy
It's a
that
little
our
spooky.
wardrobe, I mean,
A little spooky.
you know, it is the tiki world, but man, our wardrobe's pretty identical.
From what I'm hearing, you might actually have like one of the largest like tiki mug collections.
You know,
Your house.
there's a few that have larger that are insane, and I say that nicely.
Yeah.
You know, I will have variations of the mug, but there's a couple collectors that have like 18 variations of every
Yeah.
mug, and I'm like, I got a pretty big house, and I don't got that room for that. But I've got about 1,000 on display
Yeah.
at any given time. But I buy and sell new almost every single day, so my collection's in a constant change to the point where she's like, ooh, how long have we had this mug? Is that new? I'm like, 3 years.
You're like, hold on, let me see.
It's very hard to keep track
Yeah.
of our
You go by how much dust is on
Right?
it.
We dust every mug at least 4 times a year. So we'll have parties or get
We have
together.
parties so that we'll clean.
Yeah.
That's why.
And so when I have a party, every single mug, all 1,000, come off the shelf. They get dusted inside and out. The shelf gets dusted. And that's the
Seriously?
point where I redo the shelves and kind of change. Like, okay, we're going to move all the Frankie's Tiki mugs over here, the Disney Tiki mugs over there.
The stuff that's on the bench may get promoted.
Yep. And then I'll see, like, okay, I've had this for a long time. It's worth a lot more money than I paid time to sell it. And that's kind of how my career, my job comes into it. Because when I see a mug I bought at a Tiki event 7 years ago for $10, now worth 400, time to go.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the stocks, buy low, sell high.
Okay, so let's back up. What came first for you, the interest in tiki, or thrifting?
Oh, thrifting started when I was 6. So
6?
Yeah, my mom and my grandmother took me to a flea market, and I wasn't into the actual thrifting part of it yet, but I had wandered away from them, and my mom was a very good mom. Yeah. But I wandered away, and she panicked.
No, you moved away from home when you were 6 years
No,
old.
no.
Bye, Mom!
I'm good.
I'm good. I
Got this.
I got all
I'm gonna
that.
well, how are you gonna make a living, Jason?
Don't worry.
I'm gonna thrift. I'm gonna
I figured it out.
I've got all I need. So my mom, my grandmother found me talking to one of the guys selling at the flea market, and I was always an inquisitive kid. I'm like, why you...
I'm just picturing
my little
like
suitcase.
you,
and I'm,
like you right now, but like 6 years old. You already have
Like
the
a
beard.
shrunken
You're already
person.
covered in tattoos, wearing sunglasses. So now listen here, man.
I was asking
Pretty much,
him, like, why are you selling this? What are you doing? How come you're here? Like, I was so inquisitive when they found me. I was grilling the guy selling. So cut to 4 years later, I'm 10 years old, and I have,
Some 6-year-old grilling.
yeah.
The guy's like, get away from me,
A
kid.
little sweaty because
But I was tall, too.
The
Yeah, I was tall. Kindergarten, I was the same height as my kindergarten teacher.
Serious.
She was very short, and I was very tall. But 10 years old.
I like how you added that in there. It's like at first I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah, but
There's
still,
there's pictures. Yeah.
when you see, I have a picture from nursery school, and we had a tug of war.
Did you have the beard in the mud?
And all
No
these
beard.
kids were this height, and then I'm at the back. It's like I flunked 7 years. when you see my little league baseball pictures, in little leagues I was like, I don't know, 10, 11 years old. Little league pants wouldn't fit me because I was so tall.
So what they have you
That's
do?
the picture I was
my
picturing.
my coach's college pants fit me.
So they cheered for these.
So it's like this.
Yeah.
The picture went like this. Coach, little league kid, Jason, little league kid, coach. I was the same height as the coaches when I was playing little league.
So what was the youngest age you were where you were able to get beer illegally?
Oh,
Wow.
by 16, I was a regular in 2 bars and a liquor store.
They just assumed.
Oh yeah, they did. And so
Probably could have pulled it off earlier. You just didn't try.
yeah, 2 bars in town. The first one kind of caught me off guard.
Yeah.
My grandparents owned a pizza shop. That's
Yeah.
where I started working when I was 10. So at 16, I was delivering a pizza at midnight to the bar. The guy at the bar who'd hoarded it gave him his pizza. He gave me the money. I was going to leave. And the bartender's like, you need a drink? And without missing a beat, I'm like, yeah, Bud Light, please. And so
You're
from
doing
that,
the thing where your voice is going through fury. Yeah, I like it.
I mean, I was already 6'4", 6'5" at the time. So at that
Are you
point,
sure you're 21? Yeah.
I'm like, how else would I be in here at midnight? Of course I'm 21.
It just shows you because like I've like they're so strict about that stuff now.
Oh, now.
Oh,
Like I obviously I'm
ridiculous.
not 21, but there's like been times where like they say hypothetically I didn't have my license or whatever. Yeah, sorry, we can't even let you inside.
Oh, yeah.
But back then
didn't matter.
it's like the rides. The rides were like if you're this tall,
Ish.
you can go on the rides. So pretty much that's probably always for you, you know.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like-
Yeah, if you're
just-
ish.
Yeah, so there was 2 bars that we would go to after work, and I was 16 years old, and they just thought I was, because I worked at my grandparents' restaurant, and the waitresses were all in their 30s.
Yeah.
And because I was with them, they just assumed I was old enough. They never asked. And I became a regular to the point where as I would walk in, they're like, Bud Light? I'm like, absolutely. So I never had to ever think about it or order.
You're like Norm.
Oh, yeah, I was. And there was one
You're
little,
like Norm from Cheers.
there was one little liquor store that would
Yeah,
like,
that's
sell me booze.
that's the. And have you ever been compared to Norm from
Oh, yeah,
Cheers?
at Frankie's Secret Room all
Frankie's
the time.
now. Same thing.
You walk. Hold on. You open up the door, but in Cheers, he walks in. Everyone goes Norm.
Yep.
But at Frankie's, because it's so dark, everyone
Like-
acknowledges that the door opens.
Somebody came in.
And then there's a pause to see who it is.
Based how big the shadow is, that
it's
must be
like-
Jason.
So it's like everyone goes like
As long as the bartender knows who it is, then that's
Jason!
all that matters.
When people hang out with me at Frankie's who are not normal bar goers, because Mike, my bartender,
I
knows
thought you
my
were gonna
drink.
say who are not normal. I thought
No,
I
no.
was gonna end it
You know, some people don't go to bar on a regular basis.
What?
So I know it's
So
shocking.
normal probably is the right regular
Yeah.
is the right word.
So we walk in, and while I'm trying to help them figure out a drink shows up for me, and they look at me and they go, "You didn't even say anything." I'm like, "I know."
Yeah.
It's good or bad, but I come here quite a bit. He knows the order of the drinks I like. So we start with this, then we go to
So
this.
literally like it kind of like
It really does.
Oh, it does,
Hear
yeah.
yeah.
And I'll be sitting at a table just holding court, talking story, and a drink will show up, and everyone's like, "You didn't even leave the table."
How did you get into TV? Where did that start? You started thrifting when you were 6, when you
Yeah.
hassled that old man
Yeah.
with your questions.
So when I was actually 5.5, my grandfather was passing away, and he lived in Honolulu. So my folks took us over to, I didn't realize at the time why we went, but to see him. And I still have my original barcloth shirt from when I was 5.5 years old in Honolulu. Is at home on a little stuffed monkey that
I
she
say
had.
it's a little stuffed monkey that I had growing up.
So that was kind of my first taste, and then cut to 1977. 77? Yeah. I was turning 7 at the end of the year, and Star Wars had come out. And so for Christmas, and my birthday is 5 days after Christmas. So for Christmas and my birthday, I expected and got a lot of Star Wars toys because I was a huge Star Wars kid.
Yeah, me too.
My grandmother gives me a signed picture of an old man. Now, luckily I kept it.
That
all
wasn't Obi-Wan Kenobi, was
No,
it?
no, no.
Close. Even actually better.
Luckily I kept it all these years.
It was Grandma Farkin.
But I was like, what in the world is this? I want stormtroopers and Greedo. I don't want this.
I want Walrus Man.
Yeah, exactly. I want a guy who was in the movie for 3.5 seconds. So my grandmother and my grandfather.
I want the Death Star droid.
I had it. I had all of it.
I had it too. I mean, because not looking
That's a
back.
whole other story.
So my grandmother and grandfather lived in the same condo complex in Honolulu as Jack Lord. And so Grandma was flying back to the mainland, and Jack and her were sitting next to each other, and they never really had talked. They'd see each other like at the mailbox.
Yeah.
So they just started shooting the breeze. You know, they got 5 hours back to the mainland. They're shooting the breeze, and Jack and I have the same birthday. And so he had an 8x10 and his stationery with him. So he signed me, "Hey, little guy, I hear we have the same birthday, so happy birthday and aloha." And he signed a picture, and so she gave it to me. And like I said, it was just after Star Wars came out, and I was turning 8. I'm like, "What the hell's this?
Yeah.
Who's this old man? I don't even know who he is." But I kept it, so it's still framed in
Doesn't
my
even
tiki
say
house.
"May the Force be with you."
No, it doesn't.
nothing.
It says aloha. What the hell's that? But I kept it, and so it's one of my prized possessions
So
now.
now
to have
it's
this,
like front
this
and center.
Jack Lord thing that he signed to me in
For you,
1977. You know, like just so cool.
Wow.
But back then it sucked. But now, I'm so happy that I have that. Like I thank my grandmother if she was alive. Like hell yeah, that's one of the coolest things in my whole tiki collection.
Right.
To have that on Jack Lord stationery and Jack Lord glossy 8x10, awesome.
What was the beginning where you're like, oh, wow, I could make this a living?
So I know the exact month and year.
Let's hear it.
So I got laid off from my job in Cleveland in March of 2000.
Okay.
And a couple weeks later, I was at I worked for a record chain, and a couple weeks later, I was at a different record store. And they had this table of dollar CDs, and this is April of 2000. And I'm like,
CD, like music CD.
yeah.
Okay.
And I go, well, these CDs have to be worth more than $1. So I kind of cherry picked 20 good ones out. I went home, and I taught myself how to sell online that day. And right away, I taught myself how to ship internationally because no one was doing it. And
That
within,
was right around eBay time.
yeah, eBay started a
right?
couple years early.
Yeah.
And so within like 2 months, I was shipping 300 to 500 CDs a month. To the point where the post office was annoyed with me.
What bands are we talking? Anything that I would know? Or
Well, I mean, anything, because the table at that record store that day was a lot of promos. You know, back then, record labels would send promos to the record stores and the radio to get to play. And so this record store was just selling all their promos. But some promos of albums, the albums never came out.
Yeah.
Or sometimes they'd have alternative artwork. And so collectors would like, I want that. But right away, there was a website back then called half.com, which eBay ended up buying and then screwing up, and they put them out of business. But the point was you could only sell for half a retail. So if a CD was retailing for $18.99, you could sell for $9. But if I'm picking up for $1, selling for $9, after the fees cleared, I was probably making $5 profit a CD, but I was selling 300 to 500 CDs a month. So I'm unemployed, and I'm like, I'm making $1,500 a month on just shipping CDs around the world. I'm like, hey, selling online's kind of fun. And then after years of just selling media, so CDs, records, tapes, videos, DVDs, I'm in a big ass thrift store one day. I'm like, and I've always garage sale my whole life, but I'm like, oh, there's way more stuff in here than tiki mugs and CDs.
Yeah.
And so I just started grabbing everything. So clothing, toys, sporting equipment, jackets, all kinds of stuff. I sell a lot of big bras. And I just started making a living out of doing it. I mean, I had jobs all these times, and then I quit this one job, and that first month I quit, I made more just sitting at home in my underwear than I did at a physical back-breaking job.
That's
I'm like,
incredible.
what the hell was I doing breaking my back? I could be home in the air conditioning all day.
So right now, present day, you actually do your own, what is it, YouTube show, right?
Yeah.
And so you do seminars. What's it called?
So I do. So I have a thrifting-based Facebook group called the Thrifting Board. I got 50,000 members.
50,000.
Yeah. And then I do a Thursday night YouTube show called Thrifty Business. And it's kind of like a late night talk show where I have graphics and music and segments and then a guest, and we interview them. And I do a show on the weekends with my mother. My mom's 75. She kills it on eBay. It's called Selling Past Your Expiration Date, Being Thrifty Over 50. And so we take one topic a week and we slow it really far down to the point of, this is how you turn the computer on.
Click here.
But I realized there's a lot of people who are retired flipping stuff on eBay, half because they need to, because they didn't save for retirement, and the other half who did save, they're like, hey, it's extra money.
I think what's awesome about you, Jason, what I admire about you is like, I mean, you're making a living thrift. I mean, even at the very beginning when you were selling the CDs and stuff like that, you were already supporting yourself. But one thing I like about you is you are a personality. You know, there's a, you know, people know you. I know you as Jason T. Smith. And it isn't just like, okay, he's some guy who just does thrifting. I mean, you have a personality to you.
Yeah, I mean,
And I think that's what
and I'm starting to blend all.
You're like the Charles Phoenix of thrifting.
Oh, that's a big compliment.
Oh, behave.
Hey,
With a
Charles.
better haircut.
Yeah, and then I started blending everything together. So I started doing a Tiki YouTube show called My Tiki Adventures because I'm traveling the country teaching classes, and my partner who books my classes, I said, I want to go places where there's at least 1 or 2 tiki bars within a 2-hour radius. Wow. And he laughed, and I went, oh, I'm serious. And he goes, oh, I know, but you're an idiot, but I'll still do it that way for you. So I go, we need enough people in Montana just to break even so I can go to the Sip and Dip, teach a class. Because I'm not an outdoorsy type of person in terms of like
me neither.
Fly fishing or, So I really have no need to go to Montana, but I want to go to the Sip and Dip. So if I can get enough people, just enough to break even.
I can't picture you fly fishing.
No.
Maybe a hike, not fly fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I can blend my worlds together. I can go teach thrifting.
Yeah.
I can hit some tiki bars I've never been to. I can do some thrifting on my own to make more money to, pay for the trip. And so I've
watched some of the videos that you put on YouTube, and I'll tell you this. I'm going to tell this to the audience. Check out his videos. Because a lot of it comes down to, as they say, knowledge is power.
Yep.
But this is the main thing that you want to watch his shows for, or you go your things, is that the real simple thing. I mean, let's talk about tiki mugs, right? They're not all worth $1 million. They're not all worth the same amount of money. I mean, you could have like 3 different mugs, and the one that you don't even think is worth anything is the one that is worth cash.
Right. And what I teach people is you can drink for free at tiki bars around the country. So we're going to give a little plug to the Alibi right now. So this is the mug that you get with the Zombie.
Yeah.
It is $30 with a cocktail.
Yeah.
The cocktail is $12. So essentially the mug is $18.
Yeah.
You get the mug, you go home, you sell this mug on eBay for $45. So once expenses and stuff, fees have cleared and stuff, not only was your cocktail free, you're putting about $12 in your pocket profit.
That's incredible.
So you've drank for free. Not only have you drank for free, you've made money for drinking.
Wow.
So I got to go to Club 33 one time, which is the exclusive club at Disneyland.
Yeah.
And I was able to go shop at their little gift shop. And their gift shop is about as big as this booth we're sitting in.
Yeah.
My lunch for the two of us with drinks cost $220. We had a bunch of fine cocktails. I spent about $240 or $260 at the gift shop. When all the smoke cleared, I made $36 profit. So lunch was free.
Wow.
All the stuff I got was free, and I put almost $40 in my pocket. So I got paid $40 to have lunch and drinks at Club 33.
That's incredible.
But anyone can do it. You have to see value where others ignore it.
Yeah.
So people are here today at the Alibi. We're all hanging out with friends.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I don't know if I should get a mug. Yes, you should, because if nothing else, that mug represents a free cocktail and $12 profit.
So, Jason, want to throw out some websites, some many ways people can get a hold of you?
Yeah, so if you're into thrifting and looking for classes, it's jasonthrifts.com. Real easy.
Yeah.
If you're on Facebook, head over to the thrifting board. You'll see me doing this at the top cover picture. So head over there. Jason T. Smith on the YouTubes. And I'm Tiki Pug or Tiki Pug Music around the interweb. So I'm easy to find. I'm a big dude. I'm easy to find, virtually or actually.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Hi, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll go home and sell that mug for $45.
Yes, let's go.
Well, I got 2, so I'm going to make $24.
Hey gang, this is Tiki with Ray, and I just want to say thank you very much for checking out my video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to see more episodes, click on the subscribe button. And if you liked the video, give it a like. That would mean a lot to me. And if you have any comments or suggestions, please leave a comment in the comment section below.